Thank you for joining me. I wanted to share one of my haunted dolls with you. She is a beautiful German Hertwig Bis porcelain doll. Her face, her arms, and legs are made of porcelain. Her face is beautifully painted. She has just a darling little sweetheart mouth with blue eyes and golden curly hair painted onto her. When I pick out a doll, or a doll picks out me, they have a story to tell, or the spirit attached to it has a story to tell. And I wanted to share her story to you. It's a detailed story, but I'm going to give you, a shorter version of it. So here we go. Her name is Mary Elizabeth Caldwell. That's the name that came to me, Mary Elizabeth. And she was born in the low country of the Carolinas. And she had not always, or her family had not always been in the South, is what she shared with me. Her family actually came from the North, and they always kept the North in their heart, even though they lived in the South, and she was born in the South. She had a grandfather that was a young surveyor from Connecticut, and he was sent to survey the boundary lines of our nation during that time. And by the time the war came with Britain, and he became a planter by marriage, and Mary Elizabeth was raised on the echo of a vanished world. She was called Mary Elizabeth because her mother believed the name dignified enough to hold a woman steady and familiar enough to keep her safe. Two names, one for God and one for grace. All right. By the time she reached about the age of 19, it just seemed like her world was just fracturing at the seams. The politics, the world just felt so big to her. And she told me that she loved to read, and she loved to read on her porch in the evenings amongst the flowers and the southern winds or the breeze. She had books that she just felt she was never going to finish. During the spring of 1861, she met the love of her life. I was told that his name was Elias Ward. He was a Union soldier, and he stopped at her property for water and for food. He was very polite, and she was taken with him. So she noticed that his hands were not farm labor hands. He was actually a school teacher from Massachusetts, but he got a call to become a soldier, and he had to do that. They didn't speak a lot at first, and he only stayed for 3 days, is what she said. They didn't speak of being in love. Doesn't always work that way. But he left with a borrowed horse and a promise written on a piece of paper torn from his journal, his war journal, that he would write her as often as he could. All right. Mary Elizabeth, watched him leave, and she remembers that moment just so clearly, him walking away. His letters came irregularly during the war, and he wrote about the snow, the wounded boys crying for their mothers, and they were in strange places they had never been. And he wrote about the fields near his home that he lived among all his life. Mary always wrote him back. Mary Elizabeth always wrote him back with careful optimism. She spoke of her family, of her mother. She talked about her garden, and she just always sent him positive messages and positive love. By 1863, that's the year that came up, her world seemed to grow small. The soldiers were marching close to her home, and illness traveled really fast. It spread rampant during that time. And Mary Elizabeth got a fever that summer, and it wouldn't break. And then it went to her lungs. And she wrote one last letter to Elias, that she believed the world would gather itself again, however long it took. But she didn't write him goodbye. She did not say goodbye. And Mary Elizabeth, the spirit that's attached to this doll, died and left this world, and she was only 21. So that is how she passed. She was Mary Elizabeth Caldwell. She was a beloved daughter that was gone too soon. And so it was just a long distance love. And she wanted to share that story with us. Now, I have an EF reader, and sometimes I can get a reading. Let's turn it on. There it is, resetting itself. So, Mary Elizabeth, did I tell your story correctly? Was it okay? Is it okay to share your story with everyone? You can just give me a light, even if it's a flicker. So we got a flicker there. I think she's trying to tell us it's okay. So I do rehome my dolls that have spirits attached, someone that will carefully take care of them, and she is available for sale. I will put the link down in the description, and also her complete story will come with her too. So thank you, Mary Elizabeth. Thank you for sharing your story with us. I appreciate you being here. Whoop, there she goes. She says thank you too. Oh my gosh, thank you, Mary Elizabeth. Thank you.